Hello, everybody, and welcome to Dad's Den of Pop Culture. Well, I have, in the last couple days, received the first of the new wave of Mego figures. I still have one figure on the way, but in a way that's okay because he doesn't really go with these. So, rather than looking at a completely blank screen, who do we got? Well, we got some heroes. We got Nightwing. We got Red Tornado. We have Dr. Fate. We have Firestorm. And we have glare on Nightwing. Let's see. Can we reduce that glare? Yes, we can. And we lose a little bit of light. Oh, lighting is the worst. Well, my lighting is the worst. All right. We also have some villains. Namely, Bizarro, Brainiac, and Two-Face. So let's take a look at these different figures. We'll take a look at the boxes. We'll take a look at the figures inside. And we'll maybe chat about them a little bit. So let's go ahead and peel a few of these off. Let's start with Nightwing. Okay, so Nightwing, Dick Grayson, originally Robin the Boy Wonder. We got the 50th anniversary here. Mego, 8-inch action figure. Pose him in any action position, which is not necessarily true. There's some limitations there. We also have Deadman, Dr. Fate. We have a nice image of Nightwing. Now that is a later version of the costume. Red Tornado and Firestorm. Now, Nightwing, well, I bought this before I saw an image of it because I always loved Nightwing, always loved the costume. Problem is, the Nightwing costume that I always loved was this one, designed by George Perez. I know. It's kind of a goofy costume. That's why I love it so much. And so when I saw what the Nightwing costume was going to be on this figure, I was like, oh, shoot. Well, okay, I guess I'll still order it. So a little bit disappointed, but it's okay. There we go. Pull this bad boy out and get a better look at them. I'm not going to go ahead and completely remove them from these packages. I don't think I want to do that. So what do we got? Well, we have a nice face sculpt. You know, and the reason I'm just not as into this costume is that, to me, it's just a little bit on the boring side. And the lighting here makes it look like he's kind of happy to see me. He's got the sticks. Nice. Those are, oh yeah, okay. They're removable. They're kind of held in with rubber bands. You can kind of see that there. Nice. Got the boots going. There we go. Okay, good looking figure. Oh yeah. I need scissors to get all those off of there. So we're gonna suffice to get that good look at them, at least without the plastic in front. Stack those boxes over there. Okay, so good figure. It's obviously the later iteration of the character. Say probably like, I don't know, you could say 90s era. If we compare it, this would obviously be Dick Grayson when he was older. I think that's reflected in the Figures Toy Company face sculpt, which is a pretty good sculpt of the original Nightwing, Dick Grayson. He would have been what, around 20, in his 20s, early 20s when he first adopted that costume. And with the high collar, which would have probably been just absolutely terrible. I mean, look, well, I guess it doesn't cover up that much of his face, but you could definitely picture somebody sneaking up behind him while he's wearing that. So all in all, more ninja-esque in his later iteration. Up next, let's take a look at the Red Tornado. Again, same basic box design as Nightwing. Let's get that focusing in there. Love that art on the back. One of my favorite costumes. Of course, we have Nightwing on this one rather than himself. Very much of its time, this costume with the arrow on the forehead. There was a period where large, bold arrows were quite the thing. Quite the thing to be done in superhero costume. And I love that that's been carried forth on him and held on to. So let's get as close up as we can. Very nice. Very nice sculpt of the face. I like it. Hands are a little small. Trying to get that kind of glove look is a little bit difficult. Straighten up those boots. We got the cape. Very nice. I know I sound like that Wendy's commercial. Red Tornado, very nice. I like the cape. I like that material. Yeah, good likeness of the character. A character who often blew up in the comic books. But I've always been a fan of Red Tornado. I don't know. He was sort of like Justice League's Vision. Now this one, I was very much looking forward to. Big fan of Dr. Fate. And when Dr. Fate, it all comes down to that helmet and how well they get the helmet right. Great art. I've been reading the 1940s Batman comics recently. The 1940s Dr. Fate comics, that's something I need to get into. We're doing Batman first, though. I have a crazy plan of reading all the Batmans in order, start to finish, just about. And I'm taking notes on Gotham City. Okay, so let's get as close up to that helmet as we can. Very nice. Very nice. And obviously, looks like it's quite removable. You know, and I said I wasn't going to do this. All right, I've just cut out that entire part where I was taking this out because, frankly, it was shameful. Okay. Yeah, those little things were harder to cut than I thought. I need to sharpen my knife. So here we go. Now, this is what I wanted to look at. I got to now take the glasses off because I'm in my 50s. Okay. All right, so that's cool. All right, so let's see. Well, I'm trying to make sure this is not blurry, but I don't have my glasses on now, so in fact, it almost looks like you can remove the helmet, but you can't. That's part of the sculpt. That's very cool. Because frankly, if the helmet was removable, you'd either have to have a very odd looking head underneath it. Are you looking at me? Or you would have to have a really oversized helmet. I love the colors on this. Another great costume design. Costume design back in those days. Well, I won't say this for all Golden Age characters. Obviously, there were a lot of them. But a lot of great minimalist design, which is essentially what you get with Batman, with Superman. And it's why when they try to do redesigns, more often than not, they fail. Now, of course, Nightwing versus the 80s Nightwing, there you have the exact opposite of, going from complicated to minimalist. It's great, though, how every era of these characters or of comics, they have certain designs. Whoops. It's great how with every era, you have certain sort of design styles. And obviously, they don't always hold up that well. And I think the 80s tended to go a little overboard. A little too detailed. Which, for one thing, probably annoyed a lot of pencilers and inkers. But they also don't always hold up. They do look dated at a certain point. But that being said, when you have characters like when you have characters like Halo, when you have Firestorm, when you have the Red Tornado to some degree. Let's get a nice close-up on the head. We obviously have the fire. It's hot. But anyways, these can look dated, and you totally understand why at a certain point they say, okay, let's redesign this. This character looks kind of goofy. It's maybe impacting the sales. But at a certain point in time, I will admit, you start missing them. And there's sort of that, there's an innocence to it in a weird way. Okay, well, I had to give in finally and get these guys out of the packaging to get a better look at them. But as I was saying, you do sort of miss some of these goofier designs. They're really... well, they're nostalgic. They take you back to a particular time and place so that you have the timeless stuff like Batman, like Superman, where you really don't want to mess around with it. I know that sometimes people, in fact, do want to mess around with it. And, I'm usually not too impressed with the results. There was an art website back in the day, I want to say Project Rooftop, that would do redesigns of character costumes. And very often they would do a character with a really overly complicated costume, and you would get some really nice designs. And some of the designs you'd get were really kind of off the wall, but always good. The artists working on it, were typically very good and did some nice designs, but then they would try to redesign Superman, Batman, what have you, and I'd always come away going, no. Sorry. Some designs are just pretty perfect right from the get-go, and you're just not liable to improve on them. All right, so here we have our Mego, Wave 18 Heroes. Need to mess mess with that cape a little bit. You see, it's a little, okay, well, that's not too bad. All right, so here we have the heroes. Let's take a look now at the vicious villains that I went for. Oh, and I will make one note. Deadman, I did not get Deadman. And the reason is I already have the Figures Toy Company Deadman. And I like it. I was really happy with it. And frankly, I just don't need two of them. I think I got him. I don't know where I got him hanging around in the office now. So let's take a look at Bizarro. Now, I wasn't 100% sold on this Bizarro initially. Got Joker and Penguin. I like when he has a whiter face. But some of the ones like that you can get are a little more expensive. And I'm like, okay, you know, I'm a big nerd, like most of you guys watching this. And so I decided kind of wanted to collect the as much of the old Super Friends Legion of Doom as I could in this scale. And so I need a Bizarro. And so, hey, look, Price is Right. So here we have Bizarro Unchained. This little thing tangled up. Oh, it's attached to the cape. Okay, okay. Is that unattachable? If we look. Yeah, I think it might be. Maybe not, though. You know, well, whatever. I like though. Bizarro does have a name tag. Hello, I'm Bizarro. I'll be your waiter today. Let's look at that face. It's a good sculpt. I like that. I like it. I would like it a little more if it was the slightly like whiter, chalkier version. Which, by the way, his hands do appear to be kind of white. The carpet doesn't match the drapes, if you get my drift. Bizarro booty. Man, they loved the whole opposite thing back in the day. Didn't they? That was a Silver Age thing. But Bizarro's a great character. We got the backwards S. Very nice. Bizarro, you nestle in over here. Now, let's wait a minute. Now, let's hold on. We want to keep him in the... All right, have your legs hang off the table here. Let's get those guys out a little more. How about that? Perfect. Not really perfect, no. Okay, let's take a look at Brainiac. I love the robot version of Brainiac. Boy, we're having a lot of trouble here. Come on, dude. Let's get this. There we go. Okay. I love the robot version of Brainiac that comes along in the 1980s, but I got a real soft spot in my heart for this version as well. Although I remember the first time I ever saw Brainiac was, I think, in one of those Super Friend cartoons when he was the robot-looking version. And so when I saw this, I was like, oh, wow, what a downgrade. Like, he looked kind of dorky. But it has grown on me over the years. All right, here we go. With good old Brainiac. I know I got a lot of colors now behind him. He doesn't stand out as well, does he? As Nightwing did. Let's take a look, though. We need to look at the top of the head. He's got those little brain doohickeys going. He's got his white go-go boots on. He is ready to swing. So very cool. Classic villain for Superman. I think they did a nice job here. Okay. One more evildoer to look at, and that is Two-Face. Now, like I've said a couple times, I have been reading the Golden Age Batmans, and I had forgotten the Two-Face is originally Harvey Kent, not Dent. And I guess I would assume that change came about. All those boxes fall down. That's going to be great. I assume the change came about due to we got his coin. I mean, it's a Mego coin, but you know. But if you look, it's a little it's all kind of scraped up on one side. Oh my God. Any rate, I assume that they changed the name as you started getting a more cohesive DC universe as opposed to a bunch of characters that writers are doing individually. I don't know if I can get it. All right, I'm going to have to pause on this one too. So anyways, I think they, I think they probably changed it because Clark Kent was too close to Harvey Kent. So this is obviously going to be a unique sculpt. I'm sure a real pain in the Badinsky. It's a great Two-Face look, though. You get the wild eye, you get the curled up lips, you get the coat. Oh, the tie is two-tone as well. You get pigeon toes. There we go. It's a little bit better. Runs up the back as well. Probably fun to do, but looks great. Okay. So there we go. And let's see. We have the coin here. There we go. By Yemeni. All right. So here we have one side, Mego, world's greatest. And here on the other side, we have the Mego logo, but it's been defaced. Oh, so Marty Abrams can flip the coin and decide if he's going to produce action figures for good or evil. If he flips the evil side, we're probably going to get like Steve Urkel. No, I'm sorry, Steve. Anyways, so here we have it. The 7 figures I've gotten so far from Mego Wave 18. This is probably one of my most unprofessionally done videos. I've had to cut so many chunks out. Well, you probably will believe it because there's going to be crazy jumps in the video. Any rate, Mego Wave 18. I think they look really good. I'm very happy with all of these sculpts on all of these characters. I think the costuming looks great. And Mego, I'm generally pleased with the structure of the bodies, their ability to stand, their ability to be posed and move around. Obviously, for posing, if you're doing anything spectacular with the posing, you're generally going to want to have a stand or something like that. I mean, these are just little plastic men. They do have their limitations. Remember the old cartoon with the Legion of Doom, how they had it sort of like they have their face going right at you. No, just me. Okay. All right. So anyways, I think a really nice job done on all of these. I'm happy with every single one. As I said, I didn't get Deadman because I already had the FTC version. And if I'm honest, again, I liked that very white, chalky face they put on the character on that one. The newer one from Mego, I wasn't quite as happy with how they did the paint on it. But that's just me, you know. And obviously, if you're primarily a Mego collector of these, you don't necessarily want the one from another company, I guess, and you're going to probably prefer their version. But I like the FTC one, so I already got that one, so I didn't need it. So, what do y'all think? Any of you gotten your Mego Wave? Again, I think it's 18. I could be getting that wrong. If I am, I know somebody's going to tell me. But have you gotten any new Mego figures yet? Are you tempted on any of these? Fill out a collection. Again, like, purely love the 80s aesthetic with him. Wanted him for sure for... I'd like to get as many characters from Justice League International as I can. Dr. Fate is one of them. Later, there was a female Dr. Fate that was in... I think she might have gone to Justice League Europe. I can't remember now. It's been so long. Red Tornado, again, love the aesthetic. Nightwing, I was actually kind of aiming for this guy. Hi. But I've already ordered it, and that's fine. It's cool. It's a nice looking figure. And again, love the Batman villains. Two-Face never showed up on the Batman TV show, and primarily the Batman figures I have are from the TV show. But I think Two-Face fits in, and I would have loved to have seen what they would have made that look like on the old TV show. Probably would have been primarily a makeup job, like with Joker. But you get the right actor, and it would have been great. We got Silver Age Brainiac, very cool, and good old Bizarro of the Legion of Doom. I think Brainiac was in the Legion of Doom as well. So what do you think? Any of these that you dig? Any problems you have with any of these? Let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear from you, and I will try to answer any questions you have as soon as I can, or, you know, if I'm able. But until the next toy video, God bless everybody. Be kind to one another. Try to have some fun. And like, subscribe, and share if you have time. And I will see you next time in Dad's Den of Pop Culture.